I originally intended this to be just a basic informal introduction for our FLARC MCOM, Emergency Communications SIG, Special Interest Group. But then when I decided we haven't had a coffee talk in quite a while, so I might as well exercise that coffee mug. And I called it a coffee talk, and then it got promoted further. So we may have some visitors in here besides FLARC members. My intent is to present only non-technical aspects of this. And my goal is to show you participants, if you were assigned to the shelter, for instance, and in charge of communication back to the, let's say, the Red Cross with some complex forms of data like requests for supplies, requisitions, stuff like that, that are tedious to transmit by voice or even by CW, and quite prone to error and takes time to spell it out phonetically and all that kind of stuff. WinLink is the perfect solution to that. But it's also useful for other things. And in preparing for this, I found out that some clubs have been using it for foot races and bicycle races, where they have a form set up and the WinLink operator can just fill in the number of the racer that just went past and the time or whatever, and just click a button and it goes into the control station. So there's more application than just Red Cross emergency communications. Actually, in the past, it's mostly been done by voice. We've done it for the Memorial Parade, for instance, where we go on voice and we call it and say, section 3 is passing this particular intersection and stuff. I don't know if we'd want to do WinLink for something simple as that, but you get the idea. But ham radio has come into the age of digital communications now, and we have some pretty cool software programs that we can do digital with our computers and our radios. FT8, of course, doesn't convey any useful information except for DX QSOs like Bing Bing. But WinLink has an unlimited capability of exchanging information rapidly and very accurately, because it's if things don't match up when they get received, it says, hey, send it again, but it gets sent again. The other thing that WinLink can do is, and I'll show you this as we go along, there are innumerable special forms that have been created to work in conjunction with WinLink, with automatic fill-in of the data using your web browser. And then it automatically takes what you fill into the form on the web browser and creates basically just a plain old text file with certain formatting in it, of course, so that when WinLink actually transmits it, it's not transmitting any graphics, it's not transmitting any pictures of the form or anything else. It's just transmitting the data that goes in the form. And when the other end receives it in their WinLink software, it automatically reads the data that was received, opens a browser, opens the form, and puts the data into the form. And from there, you can do the same thing you would do if you were printing a web page. You can print out that form and hand it to the Red Cross administrator or whoever is supposed to get it. And it's all right there, printed just like they would have gotten it from a fax machine or something. There's basically 3 different ways that we can use WinLink over to transmit these messages and stuff. One, you can connect directly to the internet, which kind of defeats the emergency communication idea of it, but it's super fast. So if you are in a situation where you have internet connection and you just want to check and see if you've got any messages that have been sent to you, that's a quick way to do it. And take a break here, and I'll set it up for Telnet WinLink. And if I open the session, you can see it says ready. And if I click start, it's going to connect to the internet and check to see if there's any mail waiting for me. And that's it. It's done. Poof, see, disconnected already. And there were no messages waiting for me. So if you have connection to the internet and you just want to check for mail, that's a good way to do it. While I'm talking about that, I might as well show you another one. We can do 2-meter radio, which of course is local, but Jim N2JLF has a station set up on 2 meters where I can go in just like I did with Telnet. I can go in and see if I have any mail, any messages waiting or anything. And what happens is I connect to his radio setup, and his radio setup connects to the internet, and the internet connects to the WinLink server, wherever it is, and says, hey, do you have any messages for W2JC? And if it does, it sends it over to Jim's radio, and Jim's radio sends it to me over the radio. So we'll check there. And to do that, I have my radio hooked up and it's on the right frequency, and the antenna is connected the way it should be. And then I say, open the session. And it says that we're starting, the sound card's running, and we're ready. So, and I'm set up to connect with a direct connection on 2 meters on 145.030 to N2JLF-10. Unfortunately, Tom and Jim and I tried all the different kinds of combinations we could think of, and I could not get the sound from the radio to come through the mic on Zoom, because Zoom has a very, very strong noise canceling feature, and it considers the WinLink tones to be noise and just completely blocks them out. I was thinking, as we were showing this demo, you'd hear and hear what the tones sound like, but we can't do that tonight. Okay, so we welcome to N2JLF and Fairlawn, okay? And it goes through and it checked, and I have no messages, so it disconnected. The third way of connecting, which could be very useful in a wide area emergency situation, is to connect via HF radio. And I have that set up, but I'm going to save that till later. Of course, the basic problem with that is, about HF radio, it's like trying to get DX, right? If the conditions aren't right, you don't hear them. If the conditions aren't right, you won't hear most of the WinLink RMS, which is remote message server stations. So I'll get into more detail on that as the time goes by. But now that you see how it kind of basically works, if you were at a shelter or some other situation where you were supposed to be, passing these kind of messages back and forth, and you had to create a message, you just go up here and click message. Okay, so we did a new message. We clicked new message. Now we have a new message here, and I'll describe some of the things that I found out the hard way to save you finding out the hard way. Over here, it gives you the opportunity to keep a contact list. And as you can see, I have a bunch of FLARC members who are more or less interested in emergency communications and stuff. And I originally figured, okay, I get a new message window up here, and I want to add them to the to thing, so I'll come down here and I'll click. No, that doesn't work. You go up here to the to button, and you click the to button, and it gives you the list over here, in addition to over there. And then you can select who you want to send the message to. So I'll select Dave, and I'll select Jim, because you're both here. Now the second selection, I'm going to hold the control key down, and now I can select more than one. We'll add Carl in there too. Okay, so I was holding the control key down while I was clicking the individual, just like you do in the File Explorer if you want to select several different files. And then again, I learned the hard way. I said, oh, okay, hit enter to put them up there. No, you go up here and you add to message, and bingo, there they are. Okay. Now, another thing that I played with last night and discovered, so I'll share with you. Up here it says set defaults. Notice when the new message window, the blank window came up, it already had a CC carbon copy to me. Put it in automatically. You can set up that kind of default by using that button, okay? And you can say default CC address, and you can also flag it automatically to ask the other person to confirm that they got the message. So you don't have to specifically click that. And then when you open a new message, those default values come in automatically. Okay, see the request message receipt is already checked. So now we want to send something in a message. Okay. Now, once you've put this is just for a general text message, not forms or anything. So now you want to post it to the outbox. Okay, so we click it. And it tells me I didn't put a subject in. So we should put a subject in. Just. Okay, post to the outbox. And now it's up here in the outbox. It shows 1. And if I open any kind of a session now for communication, when it makes the connection to a remote message server, it will tell the server that I have a message to be sent, as well as asking if there are any to be received. So I'm still set up for Jim's. So let's just open the WinLink, the packet WinLink, and we will start. And I can hear clicks in the speaker when it's turning my radio on and off. I really was hoping that you'd be able to hear the sound, but Zoom considers the sound to be noise and completely blocks it out. So you can see I've made connection to Jim's server. I've exchanged some information back and forth, and now I'm sending the message. I completed the message, and I'm receiving one. So there must have been a message came in for me in the meantime. So now I'm receiving the message.
I sent you back some acknowledgments from earlier today.
Aha. Several, in fact. And now we're disconnecting. So I can close my session. Now remember, we're going through this as if you're an operator at a shelter operating WinLink to transmit messages back and forth. Okay, so I'll close my session. And now you can see that I have 3 messages showing here on the screen. And whatever one is highlighted will show down here as the text of the message. So that's the message I just sent as a test message. Oh, this is from Jim, who sent it to me, JLF. Here's a message for a demo. Thank you. And here's a message from Dave. And this is a message acknowledgement. He's acknowledging my weather report from November 29th. Okay, and here's another one, message acknowledgement. And that comes from, remember in the new message format, there was a little box I showed up here that said request acknowledgement. Well, that's all taken care of automatically. When I get a message that requests an acknowledgement, WinLink automatically creates the acknowledge message and puts it on in the outbox as a queue to be sent the next time you connect. So this is your WinLink Wednesday one from today, Dave. right? You sent me oh,
I just sent you an acknowledgement on it.
aha. And it sent me the header coming back.
Right.
Yes. That may sound a little weird, a little obtuse, but one of the groups that promotes WinLink is called WinLink Wednesday. And every Wednesday they run a test of everybody in the world, actually, who's using WinLink, who wants to participate. And you send a message in during the Greenwich time 0 to 23:59 of Wednesday to any HF or any radio, VHF or HF remote station. You send a message into the guy who's running it, and he tabulates it all and then sends back on Thursday a summary of who took part. So it's a good way to, first of all, it gets you familiar with generating the message, formatting it the way he wants it, because he puts a note on his website on Tuesday telling you what he wants you to tell him in the message on Wednesday and what kind of format to use. This week he said, put all the information in a single line and here's what I wanted. And it's like name, town, county, state, whatever. So I sent mine in via Halifax, Nova Scotia at midnight 30 this morning before I went to bed. So that was a good demonstration of not only sending the message, but at the same time, getting messages that were queued up